Supreme Court no. And I say all judges no. Do na because private practice and like then it's not or no private practice. And so all a court of appeal. Ebi mo omo bobra akwai omo sunu omo de so what you say. Nanso say aye bu omo no e de katase hye ne project tare omo nyina ebi betimi aye corrupt because omo nipa. But I the from nyina nti ebeye say de wakan ebeye ya ye man enye ne mra. Say you foul say you judge. Say we even lower court to district court to high court to whatever court to them will be declare an asset. Na say o ko animi bibi fufuru bi beka ho say ya amanyofo pepepe no so man na ya yom di amanyofo na say na anya sa
yeah
he who calls for
equity must come with clean hands.
I mean you can't obi ba you say na asset wa kwai 4 years pe asset unya ye de ben enti won so say ma you hu asset na afi a chire be na so emfie na emfie num so anya de chance so mra na ma ho kwan say so ebisa ba bi oyeden unya free timene ne ya adwen de mene ne nya adwen ni say my mfa cap bi anto Supreme Court so ana mene ne nya adwen because one hwe ni ya emrana biemu ato flagate no obi ba na so okay me somebody 30 e koka ho sebe obi fufuro ba won timi fa bi meka ho na mra man ho kwan abo se ye kan say
ya wade nyina
kwan ye nyina na fata ye nti say say oba na o say oba ye na me de me baba I feel say me ma Supreme Court nipa 30 say oman si kasem betimi o oman si kasem ntimi o once I nominate you omko ade so we go through vetting na say omtimi go through eno ano and that moment is what ye na kwan nya say the NDC and na majority majority more than majority in parliament omko committee na so pass o man omo de akọ you can say a chamber some ko to so aba anamboa
yeah
omko ko to so aba na ya to am no mina 30 na akọ. And I disagree with the honorable Justice Jamefe. Say as for the cap in the young couple, young say Supreme Court judges can be 10, 9, 12, 15, 16, 18. My trust level no. Now young kwan number so because you see obi nya free man say or retirement. And I say be on tia simple. Ya appoint you be doing question and anamboa. Dey say a so bebre dey come go. Because we hear Supreme Court kan you question every day no omo say. E yen nsema ye didi no yen court ahodo a akọ high court akodu say be appeals court a nipa no fee say no. Ba bia du no me pese me san nya nkyeremu atwa to. Nti me move akomanim. Nti I like one of the can say MPC can say Honorable Yaboam, Boama,
Patrick Yaboama.
Okay, Bibi say, Justice Dennis, on any yardrin says, and cases in Buanki, Timmy, yes, and MPim appeals court. Say, Bayanka Supreme Court cases, some landmark cases are more drew. Yes, a BB to Abia, actually, woman swan, a copy Supreme Court, BB to Abia, and actual man swan. I could also chair, courts don't say I can see na a place where supervisory rule in Ketwa no so and is a nipa no corner say on tell ho ase a say e ma no kwan ma ne am na frostro and me feel say I adwen kire and ye na obi a kire lawyer Jamefe Justice Jamefe as mo kan na adwen na o kire me nso so ma adwen na me kire but me feel say Supreme Court there me need do na ya adwen say senka parliament ye nyamra na yemfa tabobi ento so sili bi ento so a yentumi ntrasa numbers na
but so for ma mentwa dwen engina numbers ya yeka ho asem ye have we also looked at the contribution the Supreme Court judges the contribution to our justice system justice delivery system e woman because ebetimi anya 5 Supreme Court judges then so one more contribute pa e betimi anya 30 Supreme Court judges and so na bia sa so men kan sa yes say yenya pa wo Ghana yen justice delivery system no na e bia yenya ne sa
me da se so you rekufo do oba kane By no so or he's in hurry. Until or prime ministers almost are getting to about 100 and I'm then my Yura Mahama can say as I say yetiso. And I'm what? So come in a bit my age. But Yura Mahama by was 60 the ground and 60. I think I'm 56. So I did not performing. Me crowd me feel say we can even go further. I bet my teso no regional minister. You need 16 regional ministers in the they are metropolis in Yomajuma because they work under local government ministry. The local government, you have 2 deputy ministers. Now you can say a metropolis in a day. Ever more, no more supervise. There's no need for any regional minister.
Okay.
Regional minister the budget there. Do we do budget for regional ministers? They don't have budget. But omu draw. Inti no money there. Ye teswa. Ye silly.
Okay.
Because ye Ramahama ma ye hu. In fact, obaye, and ye ma improve. And Nieman in decline, Yakaso numbers now or tears, so no crama, Niema, and my dainty, Nieman Kuyi. But nobody notice they are performing. I won't perform. And to me, if it's or Tissukra 16 or Santi 56 man. Say giving a 40, a number.
Yeah.
40 ministers. Until 56 in film, 16 in film. Because regional ministers, I'm going to say, on our parliament, Pacho. Budget time what is say minister because any ministry and now municipality now MMDC is a dano eti role ben a regional minister play almost so I wouldn't himself by law no they are not answerable to the regional minister no they almost said local government ministry I say the bibi omo ye bia no local government supervise omo dwuma omo ye enti me dey me age the next president obeba 2028 and beyond say ma on fa regional ministers cra emba
okay
so regional ministers now regional minister that's when you open yen kohwe value for money say regional ministers sika omo draw from consolidated account any omo secretariat ni yi na no dien na omo so omo de ka oman no omo de boa oman no hyehyeye ni oman no kanko
all right
and many yewura no nya adwen I still stand by it say yemfa cap bi den ento so na but on the other hand many ya adwen say judges no so eden endiclare market
me that say Ọsọfọ chat usu na yete ne nka no. Honorable Tredwa.
CJ, me fan free baby Ọsọfọ shase.
Okay.
And I wonder why justices be edaso ete appeals court omuntumi nkopie Supreme Court. CJ, when nyina esteme from normal ekoso say aban we packet Supreme Court. And he was very right. My member bibi to say Justice Janapari Battles Kodu. Tama meno atna bench for over 30 years. Started as a magistrate court judge. Every ho eba district court, circuit court, district court, abaya high court judge. And since 2019 as an appeal court judge for over 30 years. Na amanfo be sign ho ko Supreme Court amanfo be sign ho ko Supreme Court enti se ebraso se ye pagana ko Supreme Court that does not amount to packing of the court obi to say Justice Dennis Dominic J he's been knighted na papa we since 2010 so appeals court 15 years old. She obikura wabia oye lawyer ye paja na na Supreme Court straight. But he's been on the bench our appeals court for 15 good years. Odi anoto nchanya or sign ye judge in addition to being an appeals court judge or ye judge or African court. And not than nchanya International Criminal Court 9-member advisory committee ICC is a member. Or judges are there to say you trainee judges. Na papa no te. Appeals court for 15 years. Ain't he say abain bi bana or kase no papa no nim the any experience. Onko boa at the apex court. That does not amount to packing of the court. Justice Jamafe may sports unti may no a lot of encounters in 2014 after the World Cup. Sittings in Army Kobe Commission of Inquiry. You may Kobe what I'm in relation. When it was also 2010 and a promote to no call a year appeals court. He was a high court judge. Near the also at for 15 good years. And you all caliber of judges are President Mahama nominate you Omunyina Omuye Nkrofo Omuwo nimdeɛ ayɛ adwuma ɛwɔ judicial service akyɛ yie enti sɛ bra so na yɛ pagya ɔmo a na ɔmo nso deserve sɛ yɛ pagya ɔmo na sɛ de ɔsɔfo kan no ɛyɛ carpen no ho asɛm no I think say I also agree with him sɛ yɛanhwɛ yie adaakyɛ wobɛnya obi ka sɛ ɔde 50 abɛka ho ɔde wei abɛka ho a but CJ America the na there be a man for site for example yema clarity America America's Supreme Court judge your friend US Supreme Court judge membership here 9 but every one of the 50 states have what is called state Supreme Court eti enya te say the ye pentis o America kura kakraka nyina Supreme Court here 9 state bia wɔ the Supreme Court and a wɔ federal Supreme Court no the federal no na yɛ 9 na ɛyɛ state Supreme Court no ɛwɔ powers na ɛyɛ federal wɔ no nyina except say state Supreme Court no yɛ interpretation bi na wɔnte ho ase a o de kɔ federal no ɛwɔ powers so be decide say no they will not hear this case ana we dey ye behwe. And most of the cases, and they were a state Supreme Court, and federal, and he said, Omoya 9 for the whole America. You to mean draw that comparison. Say, her region beyond or the apex court, and koye nima. And I agree, they should be at a point, there should be a cap, but that. Education is very important. Say the infants the whole America kakraka 9 and Ghana you do 18-20. That is 1 pointer. Me pese ye. And another point. The Jamafe kan the Yura Denis J Munyana kan ye say uhwe said the cases a delay wo Supreme Court si jo ko abenya cases ada ho bi atwam 2 years 3 years that's so 20 years ne ade. Na Justice Jamafe the Justice Denis J. Can be, and I think a recommendation is a or say one of the major reasons a case is a delay. Yes, a judges, they have to handwrite everything. There we are typo, and it takes days. And if we can introduce technology with AI, our deliberations, new proceedings, will be transcribed. As you say, it said they make a transcribable in West. The judge will read through and sign where few corrections need to be made, rather than say nay still judges. Judge has to write everything. He will scribble. We are saying correct sentences, and son I type. We are sharing at the end. These reforms, normal me say yesha a bit to me abwa. And again. See as a numbers no kosora. The question is, will it be out of place? Say be a northern sector and yebenya ye Supreme Court judges ya ye be assign be more not so that cases ni issues one northern sector no will be dealt with there rather than say ye di cases ni nyina be bank na cases in a pile eguha. These are reforms I think Zenra vetting a bar up as I say Judicial Council any abano Attorney General Munyina share reforms a bit media ba speedy up justice delivery because CJ say wunya case you will not appreciate some of these things. Miami Papa Dr. Opuni for almost 8 years court akoni abane ade at the end of the day case ni ewie ya ye jana no de benefit no benya sika bia no webetumi compensate. It is a case wo court na a delay a retarded development. In fact, land litigation, ye once as be wo Ghana have been over 50 years. In fact, ni patri amanso na wawu. Dia no bana wabeto aso no nso awu na amanso no da so koso e wo court. Why? 80 Justice Jamafe, for instance, suggested say they will support say a back pay. I mean, duration for cases, say be a criminal case, my period be 3 months, 6 months, the case should be dealt with, depending on how it goes. Some of the cases, and so, be evidence and then one may ban me drag. But by and large, say, yeah, you say, you be expedite a justice delivery system now. You bet to me, I be for home. And very interesting revelations now. Said you also for kind, UTA Justice said Daniel. Dominic J. T. Jamafe, Obejia Tum say judges are President Mahama nominate or monomonim dear, or mode betumi aboama your justice system no, etumi akwanim. Right after here, may call parliament now.
Okay.
May call appointment committee sitting, na men suma kotenam.
Okay.
It's an every member of parliament, you have that right to sit in
as a friend
of the committee.
Yes.
Na ya share deliberations
All right, but on the issue of same-sex marriage, so LGBTQ assuming, say Dennis Ajay or Transiano, Yebisa no Hansem. Na Moya or the bias in a temmuno, say before as a judge, before you pass that judgment, men share your religious beliefs. Say be a Muslim, don't attach that to your judgment. I don't know. In fact, I know Krechi Obi besides say maybe he going to be sort of a danger to young Ghana anti-LGBTQ ne Adiana Moya
judge be a danger to I mean CJ where you okay there say a common sense how da yemfa same sex way on to say Muslims generally pork meboa.
Yes.
Do your judge na issue be about when him so be ako di pork. I was say my religion against it inti nipa na commit offense. And as all your Muslim judge na take case so obi ako no mensa o say ensanom no o religion tia. But you look at the law, what the law says. E did na all can say who handle case memma who religion no. So religion no ne emrano ebo abra or religion can't one ten emrano can one ten you are bound to go by the law, not or religion. So these are the issues and in fact there are some people who on certain beliefs near they may opt not to sit on a particular case, and so you can recuse yourself based so obviously a conflict with certain beliefs you can stay out of it. But so better national a do judgment. Ubeka said, this is what my religion says. Abra yes anambra no Canada. Na no dear MZ menana yard, but not particularly on the same sex marriage. May be against it personally. But what does the law say? The Emrano Kano and the year Juma. So in all cases, you should apply the law, not your personal feelings, not your religious beliefs, not your ethnic beliefs. Namum, the law is what you apply. I think that generally that is what is trying to put across. Just say same-sex marriage in the year example. But as a judge, you go by the law, not your personal beliefs and your religious beliefs or whatever other beliefs and interests you have.
Okay. So for a quick one on
Lawyer Dennis Wabing. Now, question very tricky. Very. We are least mistake. Ombe pion to amem. Nipa obisa question no. Bisa no question na anu yi no. E de nyansa na de iya no. Oya no said o see me so for metie. But say me betina wakonwa mu a. The ethics na e wo akonwa no e kan e na meye. Intimi mfa masofo die ne ba betina.
Debi.
Unless you frame say u fa ma adwuma say me meka nyame asem. That one nyame asem na meka. Enti court no emra no nka ho asem ho. Enti say wo ye sofo kwa na ote ho na asem we bere na anima. On hwe bible no de be den odi be ema judgment ba wo hwe emra no. And that's why miniminu honorable ya adwen say wa wo hwe na o believe no say anima say asem we die me de mre ka say na meka no na mu migidie so kire me say say dia me ne kra den entra so ɛno so ɛden ɛwɔ hɔ but ɛba kyinkyin atwe sɛ ɔsɛ ɔtena so nko ade a me ɔnyɛ bɔne wɔ nyame anim afi sɛ ɛyɛ mmara ne na ɛma na ɛden ɛte baabi a ɔte sɛ ɔkɔ tia mmara no so a na kɛsɛ na adwuma a ɔyɛ no anso ani enti me a mete wei in fact me am a kana fidie so sɛ o sɛ woyɛ sɛ woyɛ gay and now you're lesbian na me ti me fie me si me fie ne me mate me fie na wo aba sɛ wo ba be ware me ba o ba de obeba na sɛ be ya obekɔ ne yasem ba de wo betimi aba be wuram but I mean kimi guarantee so betimi afi me fie den akɔ that guarantee dem betimi guarantee o dey say me fie me private place
also which may guarantee freedom of entry freedom of departure but
okay
a friend say dear me of course freedom of speech is guaranteed but freedom after speech
I can't guarantee
former president ya jame and say over the chrome Gambia now you transgender gay lesbian here but you wait me ba but on team guarantees o wait me sako and they on team baby me fie ne wait me aba abewuram ne mom se me to me gate me wie na me bisa akwan so na o kan de wo kan wie a me ntimi guarantees o wait me fi me fie akọ enti ane de me personal aye wo ho se me nsoso me pesa me ti o masom kra but emra no sesen si e hwemra parliament wie yewra mama boy na oba se obema aban kra na sponsor bill no enye private member bill bi ye gitum wo ye mra hye bedwa mu se same sex marriage no ye Ghana ye nso abra ye mra no kra kan wasem dada na say ni punishment wo a unye kristo ni kra untimi nya ho hwe e mra na ye wo na de be den wo be ye adwuma until then say ye this amra na be ba beto nti na hia ma ye se mesre yewra mahama no pai yewra mama nim say ye dododo ye pe wasem dodo ye wogidi wo mu se obetima ye ne ntemma ye na e ya che so ajo ye nya mra no na ye mfa nkoto ho se be ya judge bia kra no enya problem ho because mra no se sije untimi ka ho asem radio so untimi ni hu komo wa Sunday mu untimi mo ho dawru abonten untimi nye sa active so abonten untimi kra na ho nipadua se sa na wote na se ye chewa ye de mra na eden e be ya adwuma na o kan bibi o se there was a galamsey case bi e wo takwa na esitakwa na judge ne man nipa ne 6 months ya almost month ase man for say judge na get bribe no mo ka bribe corruption wasam
yeah
nti case no refer case say fa case na mbra but prosecution for no an charge no mining can say mining charge and with the mining law mining offense
yeah
na mo charge no trespassing
Wakorobi assassin so
yes
so unlawful entry
unlawful entry we forest one we forest bia na what trespassing
yeah
into trespassing no onu kwa the other man na doso because obi a trespassing ko wura ba bia and so e man 6 months into wo abonten a wo be ka say judge no akoje bribe na mom emra no mu gina so di ball kwan adu no se ye pese ye blame obi na police for na prosecutors no ball kwan o me say ye blame mom enti we na di ekire say mesre mo adaro mo buruma mutie ateni ye di judges no duabo a ye buru omo ene nsem bibira ye ka form no eto da anya omo a eye mra na ene ya represent case I presented before them and on who should mra den aye adwuma nti ya can't treat him say oh judge for you corrupt into obi e kokota sije so obi akokot no wini a ene wana believe
so agi die ni no
menu e kokot me wini on so me wini nti wana believe oh obi was asisi da definitely den ya obi be den e be di for ama obi adi bim de na sem ode e be di bim e wo mra mu de na sem nye de e wo mra mu be di for nti ye gu ya judges na ni mase dodo kan sama hodo form ho dodo even ade na e call so a ye be yi ya egu judge for ani mase bebre be yi nkofo bebre di a ya nye da nti o masem nyina no aya ka bi eda oman ho se ne ebedu baby no anhwe ni yi akra o pe obi am na ba betena bench wo kra na manfo twetwe mo because ubisa lawyers ya private practice na the chance obi ba judge or your private lawyer he will timi call restaurant bi a ope na say one who say restaurant sem bia be da bonten but your mom ko shi so me lawyers and kasa beba take asem bia ma but because they are judges I am my hu mobo because omadwuma no aiding adding to become a judge, you know. Sunday Michia Obi, I don't know a judge. In fact, Michia now you catch him so a judge. Say yes, you deeper or catch him so a judge. That can me yini. Could they what discussing one on like ordinary be. And you, Madame from Casaguma, some say, oh, why a judge? We are sure, saying. And your court get to a judge. I mean, who know Namhosano. Because okwai no bibia aha chankuro bi kwa kase oh me hu se oni asuma sikra den e bon komo ba bi in fact me twen ya hwem se ne ka akwa kotrem me sheda delay ya na me hu ka bi akwa kotrem what ti me sremo madaroma yenya nyina no obi ya nyina ntimi ya dwom ba akọ ebinim fa eye sa me nua so wo parliament ye ne fa me ka se man go contest election kan ma hu se MP for adwuma den sa enti me say who can before se man but me no nya adwen omo ye nipa de omo betima fom but adwuma no e de pa me say e de pa obi MP a me envy no kra me nua o to say me envy no kra adwuma ba ko e den. It's almost similar like Asofudi.
Yeah, don't
wasia. Yeah. So unni kurana as unya by force. Now odema. Sige, nyamemwa.
Adom 106.3 FM say wo America krebi ma yanhwe ona wo kanu furiata ne krata o de abeto abonte se nyamencha de afei ne surgery no wayawie ya enti bosume miensa entem no gusua ya all recover eno so ayasema ababe todwa honorable chedua ma member also na bia be 3-4 minutes
CJ
reaction
say a good news na ye bompa ye se nyankopon ebesa na yare na wa mana hoden na watumi atnase ache da CJ Mpensenpensenmu me kan ho asem I'm very very careful because ye nyina nim yare asem de wo kan ho asem a you have to show some sensitivity and empathy enti said the medical kan empire ne say yankopon besa na yare. Number there is one trend ma observe a emwa eye ken nankasa eye kwan a ken team no eye ne legal representation ne family ne ade omo ye omo no ma no before say emwa ken course CJ communication eye very key very 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 key in all this. It appears that legal team now taking some confrontational stance. And yen enim seba emra sema approach is very very important. Let me give you an example. Me abinu ya panyine late Sir John nakopon fa ne clearance. Abra okopie court contempt case former Attorney General Yewura Ayikweotu. The demeanor, the approach to the case, you know, esevu Yewura Sir John custodial sentence. At the same time, around that same period, Bindiru a freeway saying Atubiga. In fact, we get 2 cases now. Na Sir John DNA who chain. Yes. Who chain can crunchine Atubiga Nsem omo ekaye. But approach ya Yewura ayiko to adopt to ye no. Emma judges no ehuru Sir John Mobo Emma na avoid custodian. The other side omo approach omo take ye because we no Sir John legal we no ma judge no hu bench no hu say wa show content remorse the demeanor na Sir John digina on nse gu na china judge no nso lawyer no nso call for mitigation near there he was not defending the act and approach is very important and I feel say Ken team no instead of dialoguing communicating with OSP no they are taking different approach and they are using court of public opinion approach which I don't think is helping their cause. For instance, mahunu information from OSP say even this surgery I say can I go through no a letter na who can need their babontin but they have not written to the OSP to update OSP officially about. And you know some of these things OSP doesn't take the information from public domain. Time far back in March I better this can be surgery on 13 June no? Between March 2025 to late May, there was no communication according to OSP to their office. Say surgery no, this is the period. March and the 13 June. They say surgery above. There's a communication to public domain, but OSP above on things that they've not been communicated to officially. And I think the approach, last week, another letter from the family about these concerns. I think they should engage the OSP privately, but yes, who communicated to public space to win public sympathy. I'm very empathetic to such situations. But I think their approach of the team, they should vary it, engage closely with OSP. And I think that at the end of the day, the result will be good for everybody.
All right.
Of course, the need for him to come and answer to allegations, and they are non-negotiable. But the approach, I think that they should dialogue and work things out rather than militant positions are two parties, are taking. And I think that Ken team, and Ama at that level, they should revise the approach.
All right.
In their own interest.
But that's a pass. So, yeah, sorry.
But who been here, sir? I mean, sir, why surgery na nyamia da Roma? Bibi is successful. But can we see a maybe as a phone at? I mean, I think at least simple. Right to the OSP. On also any panel. You can saw yare, but never na win. But nyamia da Roma. Yare na you can't want them no. Go through surgery as you say no. Original home ya ebia bebo so yen anabo so menu anabo so men se echi obeba yare de obi atimi yare OSP na nkasa wo no so ye nipa anameboa nti but say all the beto abonten say Ghana for say why any surgery na say why successful so me am to me dey den what do you say you discuss it say why surgery ama why successful. I don't see why it should be a public you can say discussions debate of the surgery acquire man why successful. Papa na we are already through some emotional trauma. What should say be diarrhea me home beto me wu and say and I'll go through series of surgeries and your first time I surgery ni. Na surgery before say I'm a boy man here. So I surgery. Until me feel say abusuano say menua kan no. Say emra na OSPD adwuma. Emra so boy yura kenofrata so den ho ban. Nti yemfa mra den enye adwuma. Na correspondence bi wo ha. Omoni OSP den enye hu adwuma. Eno ase na metie enua me wofa intim abusuan force so.
Chairman team.
So letter abetro bonten. Letter and come the should be addressed to the party so that party people would then deal with it within the party ranks near you. But minimum there so many leaky betro bonten so be in the betro bonten. Afi obi all go through that process. Say over some back near a topic of discussion. In teams so say on team in Dwaso and chairman we should be careful. They say I say now no me hu mampong nkatete pa asante mawura okoba bi kwa nipa mpie na ne wakọ sebe ono ane de hye ho ekugya ne kwan ya mamre ne amane ya no me camera nyina asi so etwa wo de tobontia ye de ben de na obenya free amamre sem na ekoso na me ekosie no And I understand say you ko sira na dwokrampo no obi share ni window mu ezumu twaye amamre koso ne yiri nsan de beto abonte ne yi say no niema aginsamu ka sabi obi yare a mpaebɔ ne yɛbɔ ma no yen discuss yare ho den ɛwɔ ayi so ko ya ka say nya doctor fo yentimi prefer bibia mfa ma no de metima sira ne say nyame emboa yewura kanofrata nyame mmoa yewura e kan say Steven Tim na mum abusuan ayi press release yi mama yen sha no kakra na yema wona ohun mo yare no enya asomdwe kakra onse we abai afi na obekọ internet no bloggers o kan sem no the caption crato and any asem no kwa babria until that nsem o ma be can because of letter nti and yes o yare sa yare we and yes o wu ye kra na waso ne nipa na tia na ne yemu eden e hihye no nti mesre meka diplomatically no minim adria na attach into omde yewra kanofrata minim ne wife pa wode ni kunu hu nsem krata eden abeto abonten in fact say ne se OSP say or the womb personal ko fana ba na sem rabe man ho kwan na ba ya eti abonten yintimi nya ho we o ka kire wan kan je o yintimi nya ho we o se o onyare mpo na emum ba bia o no mama na ho kwan so onye de o pese o ye o time bi o pese o ba bia omra me yintimi nya ho we amansan yintimi nya ho we ntimi se omoma wadaro mebru ahobrasem yeni ayarefo nso eden eni kakra
but that's papa osofo Charles Owusu ena yete nenkano sa so na the honorable member of parliament for Brekum West honorable Dixon Chire Dua enso so ebeka esa yemfa seda no ema absa SME loan o madam no so ya sinema yede Mpensenpensenmu